Today we're going to be taking a look at the Exceed Grip. Now this product was sent to me by JoyeTech for the purpose of this review, and they were also nice enough to send a second one along so I can do a giveaway. So if you're interested in entering a giveaway to win an Exceed Grip, go to my website kimmyvapes.org and follow the directions there for entering the giveaway. So let's go ahead, unbox the Exceed Grip and see what all it comes with. Inside of the box you are going to get the Exceed Grip battery with a standard cartridge pre-installed. Also, you are going to get one replaceable coil and one standard replaceable pod cartridge. So the replaceable coil is going to be your direct lung coil, and that's going to be the standard cartridge here that you'll insert the coil into. Now this one does already have a coil already installed as well. So you're going to have basically 2.4 ohm coil heads with your standard cartridge, and then additional to that you're going to get the disposable pod. So this is going to house the mouth to lung coil, and this is going to be the unit that if you use the mouth to lung one, it's all one piece and you dispose of it. This one you do not want to dispose of this cartridge here. Additionally, you also get a standard micro USB cable for charging the device because this is an internal battery device, and then you get this little envelope here which has all of your user warranty and instructional manual information located inside. So let's go ahead, take a closer look at the Exceed Grip battery. So here is a close-up look of the Exceed Grip in the color Rainbow Tattoo. So it's quite loud and colorful. Have JoyeTech branding on the front here. On the other side we do have that rainbow pattern. Flipping it over to the bottom, really nothing on the bottom. It is encased with this aluminum band. Here on this side we do have the fire and on off button. Below that we do have a LED indicator. Directly below that you have your micro USB charging port. Flipping it over to this side, this is where your cartridge or pod is going to be located. At the very top you do have your mouthpiece with a removable drip tip, and it does look to be a standard 510 drip tip, so you will be able to use your own drip tips on this device. To remove the pod, you're simply going to grab it like this and pull out. It does slide right out of there. Here is what the inside looks like there. So you do have like these little tracks on the top and the bottom, and that's how you line up that little cartridge and just slide it in there. And it does slide in nice and tight. There's no play or rattle or anything like that. Let's go ahead and remove it. Taking a look at the pod itself. On the bottom you can see here where you will twist out this little mechanism, and then you're going to be able to pull up and pull out on the coil. So it slides in like this, and then it swivels to lock into place. I hope that showed up clearly for you there. So you slide it open like this, and then simply pull to remove the coil. So here is the coil head. It's kind of like that, not quite mesh material, but they call it mesh. I think they're calling it the EXM, so kind of like mesh but not quite mesh. But that's the coil head there. On the side you do have some wattage range. It says it's rated 10 to 13 watts, 0.4 ohm, EXM. So the first thing we do want to do is go ahead and prime our coil head. Now I'm going to be using standard 3 milligram nicotine in this because this is a direct lung coil head. It is mesh, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab some e-liquid and prime my coil head. To do that, I'm just going to put a couple drops of e-liquid down the top here on the top of that mesh and cotton, and then I'm going to put little drops on each area of the little wicking ports there. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and reinstall the coil and go ahead and swivel it back into place. And you do want to make sure you fully turn that metal piece to where it locks in. There's these little grooves right here built into the plastic tank that you want to make sure you fully swivel that over to make sure it's locked in place. Now to fill the tank, there's a little rubber gasket here on this side. We'll just go ahead and get our nail under there if we can. This is always the difficult part for me because I wear fake nails and they're thick. So it's got a nice large oval shaped hole. I do like that it's oval shaped because that'll allow air to escape. So I'm just using a 100 ml Chubby Gorilla bottle. Now that does not fit in there. The tip, while it is long, it's not very wide. I wish this hole was a bit wider because I can't fit this tip all the way down in there. But I can't fit it enough to where I can direct the e-liquid in there. So I'm just going to hold the pod like this, squeeze the bottle, and fill it up with e-liquid. And I am holding it at an angle so that the air can escape through the top out that hole there. So there we go. We got our pod filled. Now I can go ahead and replace that little rubber gasket there, which is a little difficult to get it replaced too. So there's what it looks like with e-liquid in it. Very easy to see. The window does have a little bit of smoky gray to it, but it's one of the more clear plastic cartridges that I have seen. So now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the cartridge. Now there is a very specific way you have to install the cartridge. As you can see, there's this little divot right here in that metal band, and there's a little divot here that protrudes outward. I'm not sure if that shows up on camera, but you have this little bump out on the back. So you want to place it facing that direction and slide it in, and there you go. Your cartridge is reinstalled. Now to fill this tank, you do have to completely slide the tank out to fill it because the fill port is located on the back side of the cartridge. So a couple of the specifications on the JoyeTech Exceed grip. The cartridge here is going to be a 4 ml capacity, so you're going to fit 4 mLs of e-liquid in there. Also, the battery capacity on this is 1100 milliamp hours, and the dimensions on it are 74 by 40 by 21 millimeters. So let's go ahead and power on the device with 5 clicks of the fire button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now it's flashing, and you can see it is flashing white. So the white LED indicator, when you push the fire button, you will see a light up white. That indicates that the battery is over 20%. When that light turns red, that means you have less than 20% of your battery life left. So that's it. That's the JoyeTech Exceed grip. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts. And that was an up-close look at the JoyeTech Exceed grip. So what are my thoughts? Well, first thing, we're going to go over the pros. First pro is going to be fit and finish. Everything on this is really nicely well machined. Everything fits together really nice. The coils are performing wonderfully. The pod works as specified. Next pro on this is going to be the flavor. Those 0.5 ohm sub-ohm coils are really flavorful. I can actually direct lung and mouth to lung on this device. Now I will say the Exceed grip does have a very tight direct lung draw. It's not an airy direct lung, but more of a very restricted direct lung, and vice versa with the mouth to lung. You're not going to really be able to tighten it down to a super tight mouth to lung. It is more on the airy side. Now I do currently have the 0.5 ohm mesh coil, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate vapor production. So lots of vapor from this little pod system, or rebuildable or replaceable coil system. It's hard to call this a pod system. To me, it's more of like a hybrid pod system or an all-in-one, because it does have the replaceable coils. The next pro on this is going to be the fact that they do include both 2 coils for the replaceable coil cartridge as well as the pod. So it was really great of them to not only include 2 of the direct lung or sub-ohm coils, but also the other pod, so that you can try both and decide which one you like right out of the box. You don't have to buy any extra coils when you're trying to decide, do I like the mouth to lung more or the direct lung more? So very happy that they did that. The next pro on this little device is going to be the capacity. 4.5 ml liquid capacity. I have only filled this tank twice in the week and a half that I've been using it. I must say, the 4.5 ml capacity, even using the sub-ohm coil, one tank lasts me like 2 days vaping on it. Now, keep in mind that I do have other devices that I'm running, so this isn't the sole device that I am using throughout the day, but I have been using it heavily to be able to get familiar with the coils, their longevity, etc. So I'm really happy. Big Pro, 4.5 ml capacity. The next pro on this is going to be that 1100 milliamp hour battery. That gives me days worth of vaping time on this device. Again, that is subjective how much you're using the device, but for me, I get usually about 2.5 to 3 days charge on this device in the way that I use it. You can use this with high nic, low nic, freebase, and nic salt. It is completely dependent upon you, your tolerances for nicotine, and what kind of hit you want from your e-liquid. I am a very low nicotine vapor, so I stay on the freebase side between 3 milligram and 6 milligram in this device. Of course, you could use lower nic salts or higher nic salts. It's just all dependent on what is best for you. Do keep in mind, these sub-ohm coils produce a lot of vapor, and with a lot of volume of vapor comes more nicotine that you're intaking, so you may not need quite as high of a milligram nicotine in this device as you would other pod devices. So now let's talk about what I don't like about the device. Well, it was really hard for me to find something that I didn't like about the device. And one more pro that I did almost forget to mention is the 5 clicks on and off. I love it when small devices like this have a power off. It's not draw activated. I actually prefer devices that aren't draw activated because you're able to shut them completely off. So back to what I was talking about with things that I don't like about this device. I was having a really hard time finding things I don't like about this device. I will say the one thing that I am going to give this device a con for is that fill method. You do have to completely remove the tank in order to fill it, because the little gasket that you need to pull out to fill the tank is on the back of the tank. And I found using larger bottles like my 100 milliliter Chubby Gorilla bottles, it just does not fit in there very well, and I end up getting e-liquid all over the pod. So I do wish that fill port, they would have designed it differently. It would have been nice if they had 2 holes, one for the air to escape and one for the e-liquid to go in. That way it could fill faster, because this is a 4.5 milliliter capacity pod, so it takes quite a bit of time to fill it up, especially if you're using bigger bottles with more chunky nozzles. So for ease of filling, I'm going to give it a con. It's not really that easy to fill. You do have to completely remove the pod, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I must say, you guys, I'm really enjoying this device, and that's my thoughts on the JoyeTech Exceed Grip. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't already, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.